Hello! It's Friday night, it's Kerbal Space Program night. I'm El Bristow and we are going to be playing some Kerbal Space Program. This is our modded version of Kerbal Space Program. The mods that we are running here are Kethane Mod, which adds the mineable resources. You might be able to see those little green blobs on the planet in the background there on this splash screen. We have the Remote Tech 2 mod, which means that our unmanned missions are somewhat more complicated because we have to have a communications network to keep in contact with them. We have... what do we have? We have Deadly Reentry, which is the mod that increases heat damage and allows our crafts and our debris to actually burn up when it enters the atmosphere because it gets too hot. We also have the Scoop-o-Matic mod, which gives us a little arm that we can put on unmanned missions so that we can collect surface samples on unmanned missions. Do we have anything else? Oh, the Visual Enhancements mod, which adds the clouds and the city lights to Kerbin. So, that is what we have. Let us jump into a game. Now, if you have been following my YouTube channel, you will have seen my little kind of introductory video, the career mode quick start video that I did the other day. It was only a short video, but the idea of that was to show you that I was skipping through the first stages of the career mode so that you guys didn't have to get bored watching me play through the same launches that you've seen before with the very basic rockets. So I collected some science and I've unlocked a few of the items on the tech tree to get us started so that we're not starting completely from scratch. We have 20 science at the moment, which obviously isn't enough for us to unlock anything, but we have unlocked the basics with some of the extra items that get added by the Deadly Reentry mod. These are heat shields that we can add to things. We've unlocked basic rocketry, which adds some decouplers, which also work alongside the heat shields. We've unlocked general rocketry, which is basically the same as it is in the core game. We've unlocked stability, which again is the same. We have unlocked survivability, which is the same. Once we get to here, we've got general construction, which adds the Kethane storage apparatus, which is for storing mined Kethane. Obviously it starts empty and you have to mine it and put it in there, but we currently don't have anything to mine the Kethane with. So that is something that we will have to unlock soon. Flight control, this is all pretty much the same apart from the extra antenna that it adds, which is to do with the Remote Tech mod that we added on. And we have Science Tech, which adds all the normal stuff, but it also adds the KES-210 Compact Survey Unit, which is a scanner that detects Kethane from orbit. Not a very high orbit, but from orbit. And we have the Scoop-o-Matic, which is our robotic arm that we can attach to our landers or our rovers so that they can pick things up from the surface of our planet. So that's what we've unlocked so far. We have a few options for where we're going to go from here, but we will come to that as and when we unlock some extra science. What we need to do is get up there and get some science. Looking at the science archives, what I have already unlocked, we have unlocked quite a few of the very basic science experiments from Kerbin. Somehow we've only done a little bit of the material study from the launch pad, so I think we'll try that one again. I must have transmitted it rather than recovering, so we can grab that science pretty quickly. What we got here, mystery goo observation from the launch pad. Again, we can grab that science pretty quickly. So I think that's what we'll start with. We'll go and do those launch pad experiments. We're going to create a very, very basic ship here, just so that we can pick up these bits of science that we have thus far missed. Literally, we are doing that. Just to be sure that we get absolutely everything, I will put another set of both of those on. And that is it. That is going to be our ship. just to collect this bit of science from the launch pad. So this is science scooper. No, launch pad science. Oops, science scooper. There we go. Just designed to pick up science from the launch pad. No engines equals no space travel. There we go. Save that, launch it. Okie dokie. So we have everything ready here. Just checking that my microphone wasn't set to the stupidly high blary level that it was last time I streamed. Okay, so here we are with our Launchpad Science Scooper, and we are not going to launch it because it has no engines, it has no fuel. All we're going to do is observe the materials bay, keep that data, observe that materials bay, keep that data. That probably won't do anything, but I'm just making sure. Observe the goo, keep that data, observe that goo, that's it. Keep that data. You'll notice now everything is being given a temperature. This is 20 degrees, 19 degrees, 19 degrees, 19 degrees. That is to do with the Deadly Reentry mod, and the command pod also has ablative shielding, which is to do with how quickly it breaks up. The pod has heat resistance, but it can still break up if it gets too hot, and the shielding would get damaged. And the crew can also take damage from G-force now. So if you come in much too fast, or if you make some massive G's from spinning, you can actually kill your Kerbals that way. So that's something we will have to be careful of. Notice here we have Hudzor Kermin in the cockpit. That is because in the episode that I made, the quick start episode that I made, we actually lost all three of Jebediah, Bill and Bob. Hopefully they will be respawning back to us soon so that we can use those again. But for the moment we're using our white shirted guys. This is Hudzor Kermin. Right, so we've done this science, we're going to recover this vessel. Okay, so we unlocked 10.6 science there, which is not a huge amount, but it's better than not unlocking anything. And because of the limitations of the Remote Tech 2 mod that we're using, we possibly wouldn't even have been able to have sent that data back. And of course the new changes in 0.23 would have affected how much of that we could send back as well. So now we need to decide what we are going to do today. Now, what we do have to be careful of is that this doesn't try and leave orbit too quickly, which it could do with these three large solid boosters on it, but this is something we will have to try and see how that affects us. This is going to be the Orbiter 1. Hopefully, this thing can get us into orbit. And back. Save. Launch. Who's ready for a laugh? Right, here we are on the launch pad with Orbiter 1. Our experimental rocket to see if we can get this thing into space. We are going... Oh, we need to check out all our staging here because I've not done any of that. So we will move that up to there. So we will fire them, detach them, fire that, and then detach, and parachute. There we go. Right, so we're going to launch this thing into space. SAS on. Throttle up, but not going to be engaged straight away. And we are ready to launch with Kerman in the Orbital 1 experimental rocket. We are ready for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Shouldn't really have done this at night, but never mind. 40 meters per second. What we can do is we can monitor, for example, there, the temperature of that. 9 degrees, 8 degrees, that's all fine. 7 degrees, we'll probably see it shoot up as our speed picks up. Going up to 200 meters per second now. Here comes the temperature. The temperature is building up now, which is from the resistance of the atmosphere as we are leaving Kerbin. 100 degrees. I believe this can take... Oops, there we go. Let's lose those. 1, 2, carry on. We're at 10,000 feet, so let's start heading east. 10,000 meters, let's start heading east. You can see the city lights in the background there, which is nice. Let's get this thing down to a 45-degree angle and heading east. There we go, 360 meters per second. Let's find the end of this again. Where was it? There it is. 125, 130 degrees centigrade. I believe this can take up to 1,500 degrees centigrade. So it looks like we're going to be okay, because we are going to be hopefully out of the atmosphere before that becomes an issue. However, I don't know if we've got enough fuel to get us into orbit. We'll have to see. Let's see how we're doing. We're at about 30,000 meters now. Whoops, around the other side. There's those city lights. Looks quite nice. Where are we? 52, 53, 54. So let's start... Whoops. Come on, let's start flattening our ascent. We are... Ooh, cut the engines. Heading out to 88,000 meters there. So we're going to want to flatten this right down. And once we're outside the atmosphere, we will burn to get an orbit. We might actually have enough fuel. That would be nice. Here we go. Circularise our orbit. Oops, we're not quite flat. Let's bring that down a bit. There we go. Now let's see how we do here. Where's our resources? That is all the fuel we've got. 200 units of fuel. Hopefully that will be enough. That little red dot there is the Kerbal Center. Where's our periapsis? Here it comes. Whoa, this is not a round, it's not going to be a circular orbit. I'll tell you what, let's cut that. We'll wait until we get around there to circularise that off. We've still got a bit of fuel left. So here we go. Where's the sun? Let's speed ourselves up and... shall we do that? Yeah, let's speed ourselves up so we get some sun, so that we can see what we're doing. Oh, there we go. We have some sun. Where are we on our orbit? Yep, plenty yet. So this is our little pop rocket. Where are we at with fuel? That's empty, that's empty. So we are on our last tank of fuel. But let's get some science done, shall we? This is our materials bay. Let's observe that, see what we get. 25 science, that's nice. We want to take that back with us. Keep that. Mystery goo. 10 science, keep that. Crew report. 5 science, keep that. EVA. Where are you? EVA report. 8 science, keep that. Get back in. Now, to transmit with our new remote tech mod that we are using, we have to activate an antenna to be able to transmit. So let's bring this down. We'll watch our electrical charge as we do this. We'll activate that, and we see we start losing electricity straight away. So we need to review the stored data. We want to send, here we go, the EVA report gets us 100%, so we'll transmit that, and it says no comms device. So I don't know why, but we can't attach the antenna to our rocket. I believe it has to be attached to the command pod, because if we activate this one and do that, EVA report, transmit, no comms device still. Interesting. Why can't we transmit data? Is it because we're the wrong side of the planet? Could be, couldn't it? Because if we look at this, we're around here, so our signal is trying to pass through the planet, which of course wouldn't work in real life because we haven't got a satellite. So what we actually need to do at some point is get a satellite up to bounce the signal back, but we would need that satellite probably in a geosynchronous orbit above the space centre, which means we've got to get it up quite high. Interesting challenge that we may have to face. So what we have to do then is send Hudzor Kerman out on EVA and send him to go and collect all the science. So let go and turn your boosters on in the dark. I should have turned this round actually. Yeah, let's do that actually. Let's go back on, get back in, and let's there we go, that's better. Right, so EVA, there he is. Let go, boosters on. Stabilise yourself. Okay, now we head to the science. And here we go. Collect data. Remove the data. And then head down here. Don't know how much you can carry. Collect data. Remove data. And then, oops. No, this way, upwards. Grab on. Store experiments. They are stored. Why are you sliding up the ladder and letting go? Weirdo. So that's our materials bay and our goo collected. Let's do... I wonder if he can activate the goo bay. Oop, no, stop. Where are you going? Come back. The line of sight is part of the Remote Tech 2 mod, which changes the way that transmissions can be sent, particularly for unmanned vessels. Unmanned vessels now have to have communication with a satellite or the home base to be able to so that you can control them. If you haven't got any communication, you can't actually control them. Oops, come back. So it is very interesting. Collect data, remove data. Can you do another EVA report? You can try. Board. Alright, okay. No, we can't take more than one of the same report. Right, so we have all our science. I think we have basically done everything we can. Now what we want to try is finding out when we can transmit. So we're roughly at our apoapsis now, so I'm going to point us prograde, which is not this way, it's the other way, typical. Let's go around. I'm going to extend our periapsis a little bit, just a little bit, so that it's outside the atmosphere, so that we don't get pulled back in. Yes, indeed it is time to get some satellites into geosynchronous orbit. I believe, I've done a bit of research into this because I figured that we would have to do that. I believe geosynchronous orbit on Kerbin is roughly 2,840 kilometres up. So that could be quite interesting, getting something that far up. There we go, right, our periapsis is outside the atmosphere. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing round and go past the Space Centre to see when we can transmit. So let's speed up some time. We don't have line of sight there. We're going to have line of sight by the time it gets to about here, I gather. We need line of sight with that red dot there. Let's try it now. It may just be that I've got the wrong... it may be that I've got the wrong antenna on. Omni range 0 meters. Well, that's active. Oh, there we go. Oh, 2.5 million meters. Well, that shouldn't be too bad. So let's review our stored data, find something that we get 100% for, and transmit. No comms device. Keep. Right, so deactivate that again, so that we don't waste our... Oh. Deactivate that one. Try activating that one. Try again. Transmit. No comms device. Keep. Deactivate. Okay, let's go a bit further round then. We must have line of sight by now. So let's try that one again. Activate. Transmit. There we go. So that is what it was. We have to have line of sight now. Material study, mystery goo. Keep data. Where's our crew report? I thought we did a crew report. Oh, we did. There it is. Review report. So we can transmit that now. There we go. Look at that. Right. So if I take another crew report now, no science, no dice. Take another EVA report. Where's it gone? Here it is. Hey, more science. Keep that. Board. Oh, I left that activated. That wasn't good. Review, EVA, transmit. We're getting science. Getting all sciencey. Right, the line on the map. No, yes and no. The line on the map when you have line of sight only applies, apparently, I believe, to dish-based communication, because you have to specify... Oh look, ignore me, there is a line to show that we have line of sight. And the reason the line wasn't showing before is because our, our antenna was not active. If I deactivate the antenna, the line's gone. So there we go, that's what it was. You have to have an active connection to be able to transmit anything, and these are not active by default. These antenna that I'm using, which you can't see because it's dark, but these are the basic antenna that you get in the stock game, but they've been changed to work with the Remote Tech mod. You have to activate them. They don't automatically get activated when you try and transmit, and they start using energy as soon as you activate them, but they are omnidirectional. They have no... they will automatically connect to anything that is within communications range, whether that's a satellite or the space station or the space center or whatever. So they will automatically make that connection. With the dishes, you have to pick the specific device that you want to connect to and communicate with. So it does add a really interesting mechanic to the game, and it does mean that you have to start looking at putting satellites up. But there you go. So that is how that works. But in order to recover the other science from our goo and from our materials bay, we are going to need to take this baby down. So I'm going to take us back round to our apoapsis, reduce our periapsis, and head us back into... Whoops, went too far, never mind. Head us back into the atmosphere. Now, we have to be careful heading back into the atmosphere, because the Deadly Reentry mod that we have added means that we can burn up on re-entry. So we have to make sure that we are facing the right direction, and we have to make sure that we're not going too steeply. I believe when I tried this before, I went in about 40,000 meters, 40 kilometers was my entry point into the atmosphere, and that was just about gentle enough to get us in safely. So let's see how we go this time. So we're going to dump all these fuel tanks. Off they go. They will re-enter the orbit. Where's our debris? Here it is. It's still on a trajectory to re-enter the orbit. But we are safe. Now, something that is quite interesting. These, let's spin around so you can see what I'm talking about. Hang on. Yep. These guys, these extending antenna, if you re-enter the atmosphere, or if you leave the atmosphere with the antenna active, with it extended, it will break off. I had a few when I was doing my testing and my quick start episode on YouTube. I had a few quite funny experiences where I tried to transmit during the launch and my antenna broke off and took one of the engines with it as it went, which was quite a setback really when you're launching a rocket into space. However, I won't make that mistake again. Unless you want to see it. Do you want to see the antenna break off as we re-enter the atmosphere? 45. Okay, so we're entering the atmosphere now. We are travelling at 2,690 meters per second. I'm going to put on fine controls so that I can control this thing as we go down, because we are going to need to keep our backside facing the direction we're travelling, because as you can see our temperature is already starting to rise. 350, 360, so we are going to get pretty hot. Fortunately, this thing has a very high heat tolerance, and it has, which you can't see because that's in the way, it has ablative shielding, which you'll see will start to deplete as we re-enter the atmosphere because of the heat. But here we go, 452, 455 degrees centigrade, Celsius, whatever you want to call those, depending on what part of the planet you're from. This thing has reached 360, 370 degrees. We're still travelling at 2,300 meters per second. Our parachute will go pop at about 27,000, I believe, something along those lines. We should start to see some of the re-entry effects coming in now, or soon, as we are entering the atmosphere. Just starting to enter the, the main part of the atmosphere, the thicker part of the atmosphere. We're in the upper atmosphere at the moment, but the atmosphere is going to start to get thicker. Here we go, look, with camera adjustment there, because we are no longer in orbit as we look at the map. There we go. Any re-entry effects yet? Not just yet. Okay, let's get this thing out. Activate. There it is. Let's see how long it can last. Place your bets. How long will this thing last? Travelling at 1,900 meters per second through the atmosphere. Coming in at 30,000 meters now. We should start to see some of the re-entry effects soon. The soupier part of the atmosphere. Yep. Look, you can see the flames coming off the antenna now. It's gonna go. It's gonna. There it goes. There it goes. It's broken off and it's off. It's away. I don't know quite how it's going ahead of us. It's obviously not slowing down as quickly as we are, but. Hey, bye. Right, well, let's concentrate on getting this thing in now. You see the nav ball wobbling there from turbulence. We have got, here are some re-entry effects now. We're still travelling very fast. We are now at 480 degrees centigrade. Not bad, not bad. We're cooling down. I think we've done okay. We've taken the angle nice and shallow. Has our parachute popped yet? I don't believe it has. Oh look, there it is, yeah it has. Our parachute has popped, so that is slowing us down too now. Why is it shaking so much? Don't know. Whoop, there we go. Oh, it was our SAS trying to hold us in place. But now our electric charger's run out. We can no longer maintain SAS. So it stopped our shaking. Our ablative shielding held up, 120 out of 250 left. So that was very, very well judged. I think we did a good job there of getting ourselves back into the atmosphere. Let's I'll tell you what. Let's see if we can get a crew report. No, no points from that. No dice. Let's speed up time a little bit. Bring us down. Oh no, let's not do that. Let's go. I'll tell you what. Let's go in the cockpit. Oh, there goes our parachute. That means we are at 500 meters. There it is, 500 meters above the ground. That is our radar altitude. So we must be above mountains because our actual altitude is 4,000 meters above sea level. So these mountains are like 3,500 meters, or over 3,500 meters high. What's that there? Strange blob on the horizon. Oh look, we're landing on a slope. You can see it coming up. Dunk. Here we go. Let's roll down the hill. Stop. Have we stopped? I think we've stopped. Right, let's have some daytime. Let's see where we are. Come on, where's the sun? There it is. Oh, it was trees that I could see. Still can't see us. Come on, where's midday or something? There we go. Whoops, too far. Oh well. It's sunset. Right. Let's get this thing. Oh, I can't move it because our electric charger's run out. Let's try a crew report. Anything? I can't even take a crew report. I wonder why that is. Oh, because I'm still in accelerated time, that's why. Right, okay, so here we go, crew report. Hey, 1.5 science, not a lot, but better than nothing. And can you get out? No, the hatch is obstructed, and we can't move it because we've got no electric charge for the reaction wheels. So there we are, that is all we're getting this time. Let's recover this vessel with all the science that we brought back. And see what our total science is now. Yes, there is no antenna, so we can't transmit the science. Hey, 46.5 science, look at that. Total of 98 science unlocked, which I believe means that we can unlock something in here.